travel. It's something worth documenting when experienced because it changes us. Definitely not in a negative way, but in a way that helps give us new eyes and a new perspective on life. Traveling helps us to broaden our horizons and expand our minds through expression, contemplation, discovery, and knowledge we didn't know we needed. We travel to lose ourselves, to find ourselves, and to experience the slowing down of our otherwise fast-paced lives. We become simple and fall in love with life once again. Perhaps this is why Hans Christian Andersen coined the famous quote well remembered today, and one that I certainly agree with, that to travel is to live. But let me not get ahead of myself. There's quite a story to tell about this travel journey, and just like with any story, it all starts at the beginning. This particular week was preoccupied with excited thoughts of our upcoming trip and all of the tasks that would be needed to prepare us for departure. I got a jump start on packing and sorting out everything I wanted to take along in an effort to be as organized as possible and not forget important essentials. David and I decided it was time for another adventure, and this time decided to journey to the Eastern Caribbean by way of the Wonder of the Seas, a Royal Caribbean cruise ship which, prior to January of this year, was the largest cruise ship to set sail, only now second to the Icon of the Seas. I've cruised a couple of times before, so I had my handy packing checklist to reference and had a few ideas of what I wanted to bring along, though I had to keep in mind that our travel itinerary called for a 7-night vacation. So I definitely brought out my largest suitcase, which is perfect for longer vacations like this one. And be sure to let me know in the comments if you've traveled by way of a cruise before, and if so, for how long. I know that some people rather take shorter 3-day cruises, while others love to go for an entire week. So which one do you prefer? And perhaps cruising isn't your preferred method of travel, and I understand it's not for everyone. But I'll hopefully be able to showcase the pros and cons of traveling by ship, and in spending the week with us, you can better decide if it's a vacation you'd like to plan for yourself. Good morning. So I'm pretty much packed with my suitcase and all of my toiletries and my purse that I'll be taking. But this morning I'm working on helping David get his suitcase packed, starting with ironing a couple of button-up shirts for him, and actually Googled the best way to fold a button-up shirt so that you can put it in your suitcase and minimize wrinkles. So that was interesting, helpful video. And then the rest of what the day holds is making sure that we eat up all of our leftovers and throw out anything in the fridge that we know we're not going to be able to use. Making sure all the laundry is caught up and that the house is clean and picked up and dishes done. Just little homemaking and tidying up and arranging of that. So let's go ahead and just see what all we can finish up today so that tomorrow we can get on the road and head to our cruise. We needed to come and get a coffee.
Yes, we did.
It's afternoon and we're starting to get draggy. But you're all packed.
I'm all packed, ready to go.
Yep, we're so ready. We should have just gone today.
We should have. Maybe we will.
So I'm actually on my laptop right now. I'm offloading a lot of the footage that I've captured over the past few days off of my phone and onto my laptop because I want to make sure that I have plenty of space on my phone for filming. And even as I'm home now, the night before leaving on the trip, I'm already kind of thinking about the video I want to make when we get back. And that got me to thinking about today's sponsor, which is Artlist. Artlist is a wonderful platform that offers a whole bunch of royalty-free music. It's an awesome creative tool built for content creators, and I love to use it to search music, knowing that it's going to be completely safe and I won't have to get any copyright checks on my videos. Allows me to incorporate beautiful music to all of my filmmaking and storytelling. I'm really pleased with the Artlist platform, highly impressed with all of their variety of music and how user-friendly their website is. They really make searching for music for your videos effortless, enjoyable, and the wide range that they offer just keeps me coming back to listen to more. My subscription is currently the Max Pro license, which provides unlimited access to all catalogs and editing software and covers everything from personal to commercial use. And one of the features that makes Artlist so amazing is that your active subscription covers your published videos for life. So even if your subscription expires, you'll still have protection over your published content, and you won't have to worry about receiving any copyright checks on the music you've used. And one thing I've really been enjoying about the Max Pro subscription is that I have access to stunning video clips along with templates, plugins, and sound effects. I love downloading HD and even 4K ProRes clips from the Artlist library that I can include within my video creations, and I'm just excited to continue browsing the music selections, try out their awesome features, and continue to familiarize myself with what Artlist has to offer. So if you're a content creator, or if you just want access to a beautiful and expansive music library, then be sure to check out my link in the description that will unlock 2 free months when you sign up with an Artlist subscription. Honestly, there's no need to wait another minute. You won't be disappointed and you'll only wonder why you didn't sign up sooner. So click my link to head on over to Artlist and unlock 2 free months for yourself today. Well, the sun has finally gone down and we've had a very productive day, but also a day with some rest and lots of opportunities to make sure that we thought of everything that needed to be brought on the vacation, giving us plenty of time to pack and sort through everything. My suitcase is, of course, very heavy. It usually is. You know, shoes weigh a lot, and by the time that you pack all of your little clothing cubes in there, by the time that you close up the suitcase, you realize that it's got quite a bit of weight to it. So between David and I think that we'll be able to manage our luggage just fine. And I guess I will see you guys in the morning when we wake up at 5 a.m. and get ready to head on out. So let's get ready to embark on our voyage. Thanks for being with me. Okay, honey, I'm recording. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's roll.
It was a great day for travel, and we were ready to get on the road. We're also blessed to not live too far away from Port Canaveral, which is home to some of the ocean's largest cruise ships. There are 2 buckies between home and our destination, and they served us well in providing a comfortable rest stop with plenty of snack options and a place to refuel before continuing on the way. Gonna get some fuel. When we arrived, we checked in with our parking reservation for our Jeep Sandy.
Hey man, how you doing? Good, I'm good.
Luckily, the parking lot is located near the port, and a friendly staffed bus was waiting to take us and our luggage on over to the cruise ship. I was a little surprised at the filming limitations during the boarding process, but I understand, and luckily we were able to move along quickly and be very efficient, and there wasn't a whole lot of wait in line. So the keys are just there, ready to be used to go inside?
Sealed up, so you know no one's Used to before?
Right.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you, honey. After you. We made it here, honey.
We're here.
We're here, a whole new cabin. When we arrived to our cozy stateroom, it really began to feel like we were starting our vacation. And of course, we were eager to settle in and make it feel like our new home for the week ahead. We always enjoy watching the views as the ship leaves port and sets out to sea. We noticed immediately just how grand and massive this ship was, and that we couldn't even feel the motion as the boat began to move out. The scale of this ship is unlike anything we had ever experienced, and we knew it would take us some time to get our bearings and learn our way around. On a ship this large, you have to remember just how much walking that you're in for. Something I ought to mention right up front, as I received my share of flack already for not bringing adequate walking shoes or comfortable footwear. David wouldn't let me live that one down for a while, and I'm sure I haven't heard the last of it either, but I do highly recommend having comfortable shoes and socks since there is so much walking from one point to the other. And now David can't say that I didn't learn my lesson. To say that we enjoyed the food is a bit of an understatement, and we didn't waste any time at all in sampling what the ship had to offer. It was past lunchtime when we finally made our way to what became one of our favorite places, El Loco Fresh, where we could create our own nachos and grab a chicken or beef burrito to go with. We often found that this area offered plenty of seating and tasty treats, so yeah, we frequented this restaurant quite a bit. When my sister asked me what was a highlight of the trip, I had to say the food, breakfast in the dining room in particular. I love breakfast, it's my favorite meal of the day, and it was just so relaxing to have breakfast in the dining room every morning and something we looked forward to. Hot, fresh coffee and a terrific menu of delicious items we could count on, and it really made us feel at home and well taken care of. The main dining room was our place for dinner as well, and sometimes there was a theme for the attire, which made it interesting. Even when the attire called for casual, we chose to dress up nicely, and it really felt like going out on a special date with my man each night. When the menu for dinner called for a French lineup, David knew that his favorite appetizer would be featured, the French onion soup. He had been looking forward to enjoying the soup, and little did he know that it would be on the menu for the following consecutive nights, so that he ended up ordering it like 3 times, a cruise experience record which I'm sure held a special place in his travel highlights. One of my favorite menu items was the lasagna, which was so delicious, and everything was just so good and well presented. We really enjoyed talking with our server team, John and Inyuman. Together they went above and beyond to make us feel at home and to make our dining experience even better. I won't forget the indescribable hospitality and kindness delivered by all of the staff, and those who devote their lives to making the ship a well-oiled and smooth-running machine in every way.
Sitting at a table for two is, you know which side you're supposed to be moving. Like, is that your place? Or is that my place?
There were, of course, snacks to be had as well. I lost count of how many ice cream cones we had, but we also decided to purchase a couple scoops from Sugar Beach. It was, of course, outstanding and deliciously creamy and perfect. This was located on the Boardwalk deck, and it also featured a lot of cool things to check out, a place where we spent a lot of time. We also stopped by the hot dog stand there and decided not to pay for the Johnny Rockets hamburger and milkshake restaurant because there was plenty of food to be had just in general, though it looked like it was hopping at all times.
I'm interested in that.
We didn't spend much time at all eating at the Windjammer cafeteria. It was overly crowded and chaotic, and we only ducked in there once out of necessity. So yeah, we definitely didn't go hungry on this trip, and we were both really impressed with how the culinary team really caters to everyone's needs and provides so many restaurants and eateries on board. Certainly a highlight and something deserving of mention in my opinion. Something really unique about this ship, and the one thing that I was most excited about, was to experience Central Park, which is a stunning oasis located in the center of the ship. This deck is open air with a clear view of the sky above and houses a wide variety of flowers and plants that are maintained year-round and somehow thrive aboard this floating city. Peaceful and picturesque, Central Park was a classy place to relax, soak up some sun, and bask in the beauty of its surroundings. By day, the park held groups playing card games or those looking to take a little cat nap, and by night we enjoyed jazz in the park and listened to live performances under the stars. There was even a bistro in the park selling sandwiches and lunch options, and we did eat there once because it was often a more quiet and peaceful place to talk and not be in a hurry. I mentioned the Boardwalk already, but want to tell you more about this fun and whimsical deck and what they had to offer. The grandiose scale of this ship could really be illustrated by this deck alone, which housed a full-size carousel. I loved the way they exhibited the progression of creating a carousel horse with the different stages on display, all leading up to the finished result. We just thought it was really clever, and I tried to capture it for you, but I feel like the video doesn't quite do it justice. There's also 2 rock climbing walls on this deck, and the large aqua theater at the stern. It really made me a bit disoriented at first because of how much the ship has to offer, but eventually we started to get the hang of maneuvering the layout and finding our way around. And like with the Central Park deck, the Boardwalk is also open to the sky and allows for a lot of natural light to enter in, but that also means that rain can enter in, which I guess this could segue me into the whole discussion about the weather. Yes, it's true. We experienced some not so favorable weather situations during our cruise. We sailed into some pretty bad rainstorms, and by the 3rd day, we had to resolve ourselves to getting wet if we wanted to venture out. We also noticed an increase in motion aboard the ship, and due to 12-foot swells, the boat was unsteady and rocking for a few days at sea. There were strong winds that made the temperature feel a bit chilly, and the skies were dreary and overcast. Even though it rained on our parade and caused us to change some of our plans, we did end up sailing into clearer skies by the 5th day, and the sun broke through, warming things up and bringing happiness with it. The pools became a popular spot once again, and everyone was eager to soak up the warmth. As I mentioned, the weather kind of caused us to change our plans a bit, especially when it came to port of call itinerary. We didn't have high expectations of what we would do at each port, but we definitely didn't foresee getting rained out. Our first port of call was Royal Caribbean's own private island, Coco Cay. You might remember from last year's honeymoon vlog that we vacationed there before and actually had a beautiful and memorable time. As the weather was perfectly ideal, it truly was a perfect day at Coco Cay. But this time, we weren't sure if it was even worth getting off of the ship because we knew bad weather was on its way. We kind of just played out the morning relaxing and deciding whether or not we would venture out. We did finally decide to go down and just take a look, even if we wouldn't be able to stay long. It was quite overcast and cool, and David said that the water was freezing, which I figured as much, so I didn't intend to swim. We had a little snack and grabbed an ice cream cone, and since David said his spidey sense was tingling and felt that the storm was closer than anticipated, we both decided to get heading back to the ship, but not before the rain started to fall. We didn't get too drenched though, but only just made it before a torrential storm let loose. It made for a really cozy afternoon spent napping, and we weren't disappointed at all to be safely aboard the ship during the worst parts of the storm. The next port of call, and one that we were actually looking forward to, was St. Thomas. Known for its beautiful and picturesque beach located at Megan's Bay, St. Thomas is a perfect destination known for its tropical climate, clear water, charismatic Caribbean energy, and warm beach sands. But not on this day. When we arrived, it almost looked like we were in an Alaskan port. It was so dreary and windy and chilly and not at all favorable for beaching it. Again, we didn't have any set plans, so we decided to just go ashore and check out the port and walk around, even if just for a short time before the rain and storm arrived. I'm really glad we got off the ship, if only for these charming iguanas, which were so peaceful as they lay on the rocks. They look so wicked, but are actually harmless herbivores that move quite slow, and they're really just living the island life to the fullest and being stars in tourist photos and videos, which rightfully so, since they are such unique and fascinating reptiles. We aren't much into the tourist shops and bars, but we enjoyed the architecture and landscape and the natural flora and fauna of the island. David's literally a wildlife whisperer and somehow captured this adorable hummingbird, while I, meanwhile, couldn't even capture this butterfly, for goodness sakes. I'm sure we'll revisit St. Thomas again in the future, and we'll hopefully have better weather conditions for an ultimate beach experience. If you thought the inclement weather of St. Thomas was less than ideal, then let us introduce you to our day at St. Martin's. Wow, talk about bad timing. Arrival in St. Martin's was met with a continuous flow of rainfall that had no intention of letting up. Again, we had to deliberate whether or not to even get off of the ship because we knew it would entail getting very, very wet. I finally just said, you know what, we're here, we've never been here before, so why not at least go check it out? In preparation for our departure, I overly dressed as a tourist to brave the rain and foreseeable drenching I'd acquire from it. Raincoats were doing all they could out there, and yes, it was a bit chilly too, but we were on an adventure. The adventure began by taking this water taxi over to the Dutch portion of the island, known for its shops, restaurants, and beach access. We were able to learn a little more about the island during the ride over. St. Martin's is a country partly colonized by the Dutch and the French and is home to over 120 nationalities. Tourism is definitely the main income for the island locals, and they really have a friendly and hospitable nature and a charismatic Caribbean energy that's contagious even when the weather is dreary. We just kind of frogged around and took in the sights, kindly refused the sale of umbrellas and beach chairs, and just familiarized ourselves with the area, so by the time we were back on the ship that afternoon, we were pretty tired and ready to get dried off and warm and cozy again. but it's an adventure we won't soon forget, and I'm still glad we experienced it. You might be wondering what we got up to when we were on board the ship for a week. Well, we're pretty laid-back folks, and we really just wanted to prioritize rest on this trip. So often, we found ourselves talking over coffee on the Royal Promenade deck. This deck was always buzzing, so there was a hype of activity at all times and plenty of people watching to do. We could snag a couple of seats at the cafe occasionally, but to be honest, the coffee wasn't all that good. Still, we had front and center view of a snazzy red Ford Mustang convertible, which caught David's eye reminiscently. Also on this deck is the Bionic Bar, which is a robot-operated station where you purchase mixed drinks through a tablet, and your order is prepared by a robotic arm in a very futuristic setting. David ordered a very tropical tasting mixed drink that I actually enjoyed and sipped on while playing trivia. There were a few locations for trivia, and we participated when we could.
Don't back away. I know it's scary being up here. Don't back away, Jerry. All righty. You ready? Shy. I'm going to give you one final movie quote. The first one of you to yell it out at me will be the winner. All right? It's an easy one. Be ready. You ready? All right. You're going to need a bigger boat. Jaws. There you go. He got it. Give it up for his team there. He's won himself.
David actually won movie quotes trivia and was so nervous when he had to stand up in front of everyone to receive his keychain prize. I didn't do too badly on Friends trivia, but David's much better at these things than I am, though we had fun with it. We also played a game of bingo, but I only won $3 at that. As far as entertainment goes, I think that Royal Caribbean prides themselves on their headliner shows. We went and watched Adam Carrillo for the second time to experience his amazing juggling act and comedy show. It was just as good as we remembered, and we had some fun laughs. We also had the opportunity to watch the Aqua Theater show, Intense, which is performed by an all-female team and is quite death-defying and exciting to see. The bad weather actually canceled this show more than once, so luckily they were able to perform towards the end of the week. For those looking to participate in adventurous activities, they also had ziplining aboard the ship, rock wall climbing, flow rider surfing, and this, the Abyss, a 10-deck dry slide that takes you from deck 16 down to the boardwalk on deck 6. This was so cool that we both had to do it at least once. It only takes about 13 seconds to get through the slide, but it's such a neat experience and it makes you feel like a kid again, and you can't help but laugh. We actually attempted to wake up at sunrise one morning with hopes that we'd see a beautiful skyscape and be rewarded. But unfortunately, the swells were so strong and the storm that was pushing us caused extreme winds. They didn't think it safe for guests to go on the upper decks. And in other words, we couldn't get a clear view of the sky at sunrise, but at least it was a good idea. Hello. We're up here on one of the decks. Tried to set up the tripod a little bit so that we could check in, but it's a little windy, so we apologize for that. It's our last day here.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so we're just enjoying the sun and enjoying the food and some trivia. And we already know that tonight after dinner we'll have to start packing up our suitcases and getting ready for a very early checkout tomorrow morning.
Do we have to immediately pack our suitcases?
I think we're just going to throw all the stuff in there and sit on it and then zip it up and hope that it all fits.
That's my go-to.
We hope you've been enjoying the vlog and everything that we've been showing you. Soon you'll see some clips of our journey home.
Bye for now.
Bye for now. You were happy to be back in Sandy? Yeah, she's here. She did good for us.
My girl. Yep, she did good.
Let's go. Let's head home. Before heading home, we decided to stay around Cape Canaveral and swing by the Kennedy Space Center since we were right there and we hadn't been in years. After being distracted by the flowers in the parking lot, we headed up to the ticket stand to check things out. We were a bit sticker shocked to see just how much they charged to go inside, and we weren't looking to do all of that this time. We did simply just enjoy walking around the entrance where the countdown clock resides, along with many colorful things to take in. They've really created a lovely and welcoming entrance. We also had the opportunity to pop into the gift shop where we were looking for some sticker decals for the Jeep. We found a couple options that we really liked, so decided to purchase them. We are happy that we stopped by, and who knows, maybe one day we'll come here and visit again and actually go inside because I'm sure they have a lot to see and offer for the ticket holders. Hey guys, so it's about 4:30 in the afternoon and we're back home, feeling kind of tired, still kind of feeling movement, which is really strange. I feel like I'm still on the ship, and of course with all the movement from the driving, yeah, it might take me a few minutes to get acclimated to being on dry land again. Travel tip, I will tell you, it is so nice to come home to a clean house. I'm really thankful that I took all the extra time and energy before we left to clean, get caught up on laundry, dishes, make sure that everything would be finished so that when I walked back into the house after the vacation, that would be one less thing that I'd have to worry about. I'm really glad I did that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog now, but I wanna thank you guys so much for watching and for being here with me. Just wanna send my love to you all, send my blessings your way, and let you know that I am looking forward to seeing you next time. So be sure to stay tuned for the next vlog. Love you and see you then. Bye-bye.